When it comes to Canadian defense right now, the Arctic is the high ground. And as adversaries are moving in, Canada is preparing to stand firm. I'm Ben Mulrooney. The West Block starts right now. While Canada-U.S. trade talks are still stalled, it's full steam ahead on an agreement between Canada, the U.S. and Finland on a critical Arctic defense resource, icebreakers. We speak with the head of Canada's Coast Guard coming up.
Thank you very much.
And as Ottawa reaches out on new trade alliances, some are quite controversial. We have an exclusive interview with Canada's new ambassador to the UN and speak with our former ambassador to Saudi Arabia. The Arctic is seeing a dramatic increase in military activity. Russia and China are ramping up spy efforts, and Canada is rapidly building up its presence. But in the deadly, frigid environment of the far north, there is one asset that rises above them all, and Canada is on the cutting edge. This has become the latest power play. Securing the Arctic means the ability to be mobile through solid ice, up to 3 meters thick. In this brutally tough environment, mobility equals strength. Strength is also in numbers. Last week, Canada, the United States, and Finland renewed an alliance to work together on new icebreakers. Canada's ambassador to the U.S., Kristen Hillman, stood side by side with America's Homeland Security Secretary and Finland's Economic Affairs Minister, underlying a valued partnership.
We face an increasingly dangerous world, and it is important in these times to build on the relationships with our key allies.
We are celebrating the continuation of a vital alliance.
Today is not just a great day for the United States of America, but for the entire Western Hemisphere.
The trilateral joint statement of intent is called the Ice Pact. Originally drawn up last year under U.S. President Biden, it's meant to increase collaboration on the design, production, and maintenance of polar icebreakers. Kristen Hillman confirmed it's still moving ahead.
The Trump administration is taking a monumental step forward to protect the Arctic against our enemies.
That same day, Vladimir Putin made what might be his biggest flex in the region yet from the security of one of his bunkers. The Russian president announced the laying down of the new nuclear icebreaker at the Baltic shipyard, which will bear the glorious name Stalingrad. Russia has more than 40 icebreakers. Canada currently has 18, Finland 9, while the U.S. has just 2 heavy icebreakers in its arsenal. But with the Arctic becoming the high ground for diplomatic influence and international security, the Ice Pact will create 11 new cutting-edge icebreakers for the region. The first 3 ships will be built simultaneously in Finland and the United States, while 3 others will be constructed by a U.S. company only. The other 5 Arctic security cutters are expected to be built by Canadian Davy Shipbuilding, looking to set up an icebreaker factory in Texas. Canada is also striking out on its own when it comes to breaking ice in the far north, building 2 of the largest ice ships in the world for the Coast Guard. The Polar Max will be able to cut through ice up to 3 meters thick. A tough assignment in a region where the stakes couldn't be higher. The Commissioner of Canada's Coast Guard, Pelletier, joins us now from the Halifax Security Conference. Commissioner, the Coast Guard was part of the fisheries but has been moved to defense, and there are talks of arming the Coast Guards. Is that a realistic possibility?
Actually, we have a few ships that are already armed for the purpose of fisheries enforcement, but no, there has been no further talk about arming the Coast Guard.
And the Arctic is a huge focus now when it comes to defense and diplomacy. We've got Russia and China making big moves in the region. Canada is opening its first consulate in Greenland. What's the Coast Guard's role in the Arctic today?
Well, the Coast Guard has been going to the Arctic for decades, even before Coast Guard was a thing. We've been, conducting icebreaking in order to support the community resupply. So it's a very short window every summer for communities to get their supplies and fuel they will need to sustain the entire year. And so we support that. We do obviously search and rescue or environmental response when we're there as well.
All right, so that's the state of play today. How is that role going to be changing over time?
Well, over time, we have acquired 2 polar icebreaker that will be delivered in 2030 and 2031. So those ships are going to be able to be in the Arctic year-round, in every part of the Arctic year-round. So that will provide a presence in the Arctic when nobody else is there to monitor. But we're also going to install many sensors on board our existing ships and the new ships as well too, as well as ashore. So it will give us a much bigger picture of what's happening on the water and under the water.
So am I to believe that these polar maxes that you describe this next generation of icebreakers, they will be coming, but in the interim, we're going to beef up the capabilities of the current icebreakers?
That is correct, by installing sensors, but also we have a fleet of about 8 icebreakers that go there every summer, and we, as needed, we can send more as well too.
Well, Canada, the U.S., and Finland renewed alliances on the Ice Pact, which is a great name. They did that last week, which is to build other icebreakers within that union. Now, once they're in the region, how is that going to work?
Basically, it's an agreement to collaborate. And we collaborate in sharing lessons learned and sharing technology, sharing how we recruit people, how we develop our people. So it's really bringing everybody at the table and making sure we learn from each other.
Well, Commissioner Pelletier, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. Thanks.
Coming up, as Canada moves to work with countries other than its southern neighbor on trade, what is the true cost of that?